Some of you know that I do like to describe myself as the emergency backup rabbi at CBST. So I should have added that we are also praying for healing for the sniffles that Rabbi Rapport's adorable James has been bringing home from his school. We like to say that New York is a bit of a petri dish, but frankly, so are toddlers. So I am very grateful to be able to step in and lead some services and teach some Torah in her place, which is, of course, never really in her place. I am neither as funny nor as curly, but it is a joy and an honor. So this week's Torah reading begins with what is probably the most frequently sung first verse of a Torah portion. God says to Abraham, Lechi lach, lech lecha. See, I'm already quoting as if it's Debbie Friedman, but it's actually God who says it first. Lech lecha, get up, God says to Abraham. Avram, he's not yet Abraham. Get up and go away from your land and from your birthplace and from your father's home to a land that I will show you. We are arriving at this portion at Lech lecha, just as some of us are beginning to get up and move around and do so more than we have done in the last 18 months. We're leaving our homes more often. There are more places to go. We are sometimes getting on subways or buses or even airplanes. Or maybe we're just starting to dream of going to places we haven't been able to go to, places we haven't been for a long time, whether it's in another time zone or in our own city. And at the same time, we are adapting to a greater awareness of not knowing exactly where we're going, what's going to be next, what things will look like when we get there, and having multiple versions of future plans, or maybe having a hard time planning at all. I'm pretty sure I am not the only one, for example, who has arranged to meet a friend for dinner or for tea with the caveat that if it rains, we'll do it on Zoom. So I feel lucky to have been back to a few of my favorite places. The roof garden at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, my favorite restaurant in New Haven, Claire's Cornucopia, for a piece of Lithuanian coffee cake, and of course, to CBST. And I'm still dreaming of a few places that I have not been able to go since before the pandemic. My mother-in-law's house in Germany, our friend Cecil's kitchen on the Upper East Side, or the homes of my friends and colleagues in Jerusalem and Bethlehem. And honestly, I know it's actually a historical anomaly to have the ability to hop on a train or a plane and travel easily in the way that I used to. Even now, even today, most of us have the ability to travel more quickly and generally with greater comfort than our ancestors, and to see far more of the world than they did. Abraham and Sarah's lifelong journeys on foot, or possibly on camel, took them only from the equivalent of, let's say, New York to maybe Miami at the most. Having the opportunities to choose to visit multiple places and even to live in multiple places over the world makes it possible for us to have multiple places that feel like home. So this concept of home is kind of curious. It can be hard to explain what makes us feel at home somewhere, whether it's a particular country or city, visiting the home of a good friend. If someone asks me, where are you from? I actually have a hard time answering because I was born in one city, I grew up in another city, and I've lived my adult life between two totally different cities. But sometimes people will say, so where is home for you? That's a very different question. I sometimes answer by saying it's like the Amtrak Northeast Corridor, specifically on the cafe car, which I also have not seen in 2 years. But where is home for you? Feels more expansive. You can have more than one answer. Now, if we happen to meet Avram and Sarai, their original names, on the journey from Haran to the land they did not yet know, or if we met them later in their journeying, after spending time dwelling in multiple different places, and if we asked them, so where are you from? They probably would say, from Haran. But it's harder to imagine what would their answer be to, where is home for you? The journey that Avram and Sarai makes changes them. They take on new beliefs. They learn to communicate with a God who no one has known before, and learn behaviors and expectations that are totally new. They change their expectations for the future, unexpectedly becoming parents in their 90s and being told that their legacy will bless all the families of the world. They change their names, taking on new names that better reflect who they are and who they will become. And along the way, every new place and every new experience shapes them and becomes part of them. For Avraham and Sarah, home might mean their very portable tents, becoming welcoming places no matter where they are for hungry strangers. Home might mean the moment when Abraham has the confidence to argue with God and to try to save people in Sodom and Gomorrah. Home might feel like Isaac and Ishmael coming together unexpectedly in the end to bury their father. Lately, I have realized how much I feel at home in laughing and learning with friends, even over Zoom. How much I feel at home in closing my eyes and being with the memories of people who I have loved who are no longer here, and in other things that I carry around in my soul, no matter where I am. My apartment may be small, but the chambers of my heart are full of encounters and music and memories and places that I visit regularly. One of my favorite travel writers, Pico Iyer, was born in Oxford, England, to parents who were from India, was raised in California, and spends most of every year in Japan. He's a mess. It's great. It's just like, I love it. He writes, this is a bit alarming, when my family home suddenly burned to the ground in a forest fire in California, and all my photos, mementos, and notes were reduced to ash, I was reminded forcibly that home nowadays has nothing to do with a piece of soil and everything to do with something I carry around inside me. What is a place that you carry around with you? What memories, what images, which meals, which moments, which people? To borrow an image from They Might Be Giants, what goes into building the little birdhouse in your soul? It's been almost 2 years since I've been able to easily visit other places that feel like home. But those places and those memories have stayed with me throughout this time. And I've come to be even more appreciative of the small, intimate moments of feeling truly at home that I carry with me. Like tonight, like this service, like these moments being with all of you. This time together, which is now becoming part of our shared journey. My great hope is that all of us will continue to collect not only the places where we feel comfortable and respected and joyful and able to live our lives the way we would wish, but also along the way to collect more images and memories and recipes and friendships that we can carry with us wherever we go, including when we stay home. That every Lech Lecha that we hear, every need to get up and go elsewhere, will lead us to being more fully ourselves and more fully at home in our own souls. Abraham and Sarah and their family may have left Haran behind, but their descendants carried the story with them so carefully that it became part of the text that generations of our scribes have written into scrolls by hand, and we have read them again and again, and we will read it again tomorrow morning from the scroll. We will chant out loud, Lech Lecha, get up and go, me'artzecha, from your land, umimoladetcha, and from your birthplace. Get up and go to a place that I will show you. And through us, just like through Abraham and Sarah, may all the people of the world be blessed. I actually had a second blessing in there. Look at that. In our Tefillat Haderach, in our traveler's prayer, there's always got to be one more blessing. We ask, Yehi ratzon milfanecha, may it be God's will that we are led towards peace, that our footsteps go towards peace, that we are guided towards peace, and that we reach our destination in peace. So may our desired destination never be limited to a single place. May our desired destination always include the chambers of our own heart, and may our footsteps always be directed towards peace. Shabbat Shalom.